So I think for a lot of people, bodybuilding doesn't make a ton of sense. And this is like one of the big issues you see on social media. And this was actually a powerlifting issue. If you go back, I don't know, 6 years ago, there was a big deal on social media where actually powerlifters felt pressure to try and max out more often, even though it wasn't helpful for their training because it created engagement and views, and that led to sponsorships and so on and so forth. It was a pretty interesting discussion. I don't remember who had it. It was some pretty popular powerlifter was talking about it. Then you see the same thing now with training, right? You want to see like the maximal intensity stuff, and that's what's going to make it popular on TikTok, on Instagram, YouTube. I get a little bit of a longer form here so I can talk to you about things, because the reality is most training sessions are pretty boring. Like, you build up to certain days that you might want to express what you have been building. Like, let's see how strong I am today, or how high I can jump when maximally rested. The peak output and performance days, those are the ones that are coolest for social media. They are not that often in training, because the reality is you're sacrificing a lot of stuff to get to that point. Right? If you're going to max out on your deadlift, you want to do well, you're going to rest a little bit, or you're going to push yourself pretty hard to complete that movement. And the rest of the day is kind of fried because you did that. So you only do that when the time is right to test it, because there are times you want to test it to see if your program is working. Maybe you're doing it because it's part of the actual training process. But the reality is, like, if you are to go and try and max out a sprint, let's just, fun example, let's just do it. You want to go sprint as fast as you can. And you can sprint every day if you want. I don't really care. But if you really want to sprint your absolute fastest because you want to showcase your PR on Instagram, you're probably going to take like a day off, or maybe a day and a half off, or a little bit build up so we can run really fast when we sprint and be like, look, I got a PR. And that's super common because you're going to showcase your abilities. But if you do that, you sacrifice the 2 days of work that you did. You sprint, great, you run fast, wonderful. But it's not sustainable if you do that again every week, just simply trying to peak every week, not just sprint every week, to try to make the most optimally fresh as possible. You're going to sacrifice a lot of stuff because there are natural levels of fatigue that will occur during training. You might say, Max, what are you getting at? Here's a workout for my training team. I wrote it down on paper because I'm old. Some old people do sometimes. Not that old, but whatever. It's simple. It's a really simple workout. So it's dumbbell incline bench press. I'll hold it right here for you. 5 sets of 4, pull up 5 sets of 4, dumbbell bench slow lowering, 2 AMRAPs, so 2 to failure. Then we have some sort of row variation, 2 to failure. And then we have a little bit of isolated single arm pressing work and some farmer's carries. These are like body strength exercises, things that are challenging for stability and coordination, a little bit like expressing a single arm overhead press. This is like your metabolic stress, going to failure, making sure you have enough taxation on the muscles. And this is that strength stimulus. So you have enough load on the body that you can incur a stimulus to create adaptation. Now, if you look at like a bodybuilder's workout, not bodybuilder, but what you see on Instagram and stuff, more often than not, people are so encouraged to go to extreme failure. I'd be like failure. And also, by the way, if you're doing body parts, you might just for your chest have a whole chest day, right? This is some chest, some arms, some shoulders involved in it. You could add some biceps and triceps if you'd like. Point of it is when I'm doing these big compound movements, I'm not working any muscle optimally, right? I'm not like, this is the best bicep exercise possible, the best chest exercise. But it is demanding and it's exerting. Maybe when I press, I'm getting 80% capacity working my triceps and 60% in my shoulders and maybe 90% in my chest. You just name whatever muscles you want as well. Right? The totality of strain on the body that's going to cause adaptation. You will get tricep and shoulder and chest gains. If you just do a chest fly, you're not going to get any other adaptations. And so the reality is when you're putting together a training program where you're trying to get more jacked, but also in a sustainable way, you want things and exercises that emphasize on the knobs of muscles, a lot of them at times, because no, it's not going to be optimal for that muscle growth, but it's not optimal to spend 3 hours in the weight room neither. And so with a program like this is just one day. Then we have another day. This is Tuesday's day, maybe? This is Tuesday? Maybe this is Thursday. So we have Tuesday, Thursday, upper body. And then we have an additional possible one on Saturday with some accessories. Then come Thursday, we flip it around, right? Maybe if this is a pressing dominant day with like bench press, maybe we'll do a shoulder press that's more dominant, and we'll do our accessories to more chest at the end. And you kind of move it around and flip it around based on your needs, because that's a training program. And the goal isn't to get maximally jacked. It's to be able to continue to make progress over time. while at the same time managing the fatigue loads. So if I'm going to work out, I'm going to draw a little picture for you guys. I'm going to go work out, and this is like the classic example. And here is my like stress. Yeah. Something like that. Cool. So let's just say it's like this. This is where we are at the workout. And then we go down during the workout. I'm trying to draw this while not looking at you guys, which is crazy work, right? Draw the workout. We go down, we get fatigued, and then we adapt and go back up. Right? This is like a systemic stress. That's where we are. This is after the workout, and we want to get in a higher place at the end. This pin's not working very well. Good thing I have another one right here. Didn't even plan this. Just well organized. Good, right there. So we're higher than before. That should be higher. There, cool. So the idea of it is that we make adaptations. So we go from here, excuse me, to up there. And then, why am I saying this? It's a stress, right? We have fatigue, and then we have adaptation. If we just stress ourselves, so we get down to fatigue, and we don't let ourselves recover, it's going to be really, really hard to train and get better. So if we have huge stresses that become really difficult to recover from, even though the stress, you might be like, I worked so hard. It's not the adaptation response we're going to get, because the adaptation response is relative to what you can actually recover from, not just how hard you can physically exert yourself. If that was the case, you would just go to utter failure and then immediately have recuperation. You could just be like Iron Man. But there are very good evidence. There's very good evidence that accumulated fatigue leads to overuse injuries and other things, implying that we can't recover from infinite amounts of volume, right? There's ability that your body can, there's an amount your body can do. Like your body is capable of overcoming many stressors. Like, oh my gosh, if I had to go climb a mountain today, sure, I could probably climb a mountain. How I feel the next 6 days will be disastrous, right? So yes, I can. No, it's not what I can adapt to. I can do it. I'm not going to adapt to it. Very different in nature. And so when I look at my training programs and I build my training programs out, I don't just think about what we can do. It's what we can adapt to and how we progress that over time. So that's why a good workout sometimes looks really boring. And it fits within your time frame of needs for your training session. And if you progress that over time in a very boring fashion, you will get more jacked and athletic. So I hope you guys enjoy these. Share a little science with y'all. I'll do some more workout breakdowns over time. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Appreciate y'all. Take care.